Ever feel more exhausted after a quick catch-up coffee than after a full workday? Most people think it's the big parties or loud bars that drain us. But the truth? It's the normal, everyday social stuff that burns us out the most. And nobody really talks about it. We've already covered some hidden energy drains in daily life in past videos. But today, we're diving into 5 social situations that quietly chip away at your battery, even if they seem totally normal on the surface. The last one, even neurotypical people struggle to explain it. Let's jump in. Answering messages and emails. The pressure to respond the right way can be overwhelming. I mean, using the perfect tone, timing, and wording, it's a lot. And sure, people will say, oh, it doesn't have to be perfect. Maybe not for them, but with how many times my tone or meaning or written words are misunderstood, we're technically speaking the same language here, people, but it really seems like we're not. So, for many autistic people, answering texts or emails often includes extra anxiety about missing hidden meanings, sarcasm, or expectations that aren't directly stated. Even simple messages can cause me to get mentally stuck. Did they mean that literally? Are they waiting for a fast response? Is that a joke, or am I about to offend them? Nope. Shut it down. Walk away. So, if you've ever stared at a 3-sentence email for 30 minutes and still not replied, that's not just you. Or if you've overthought a text message response so much that you just didn't even reply, you're not alone. But you might want to check those messages and send a quick one back soon. Unexpected drop-ins or surprise social visits. When someone shows up unannounced, whether it's a neighbor, a mail delivery person, or even a good friend, it still feels like being thrown on stage with zero warning. Oh, so now I'm supposed to just turn on the energy? No time to prepare mentally? No transition time into Chris, a functioning person? Wait, what, what just happened there? No chance to check if I have the social energy. Even if I really like the person, the sudden switch into social mode can be jarring. If I've been deep in a special interest or focusing on something important, forget it. I probably won't even hear the door until you're banging on it and my monotropic brain is highly irritated that my concentration just got broken. Now I'm scrambling to mask, to act normal, and to figure out when I can get back to what I was doing and how to remember what I was even doing. Oh, and you were just popping by to drop that off? You're leaving after 3 minutes? Well, the transition back to what I'm doing could take a minute or an hour. So autistic brains struggle with these common interruptions. That's not because we're unfriendly or antisocial. It's because it takes an autistic brain a lot of mental energy to drag itself from one thing to another. So if you can, carve out your focus time and let people know. Silence your devices or disable the doorbell. That works too, as long as you remember to get it going again. Or maybe not. And before we keep going, we have a free energy tracker to help you identify your hidden social drains, so then you can start figuring out what actually helps you conserve energy and recharge. Links in the description, so grab that when we're done. Group conversations. Trying to follow shifting social dynamics in real time is like playing 4 games of chess on a unicycle while juggling flaming swords and reciting the alphabet backwards. Anyone know what happened to my 4-gallon bucket of bourbon? It's all over the place, and depending on how many people are involved, it'll make your brain want to explode. One person talks over another, topics jump without warning, and then suddenly it's your turn to speak. You're on stage, all eyes on you, time to perform. Oh wait, I was too busy still thinking of what I wanted to say 4 topics ago that I don't even know. Was there a question? Are we allowed to be drinking bourbon in this meeting? Wait, where's the bathroom? If your brain needs a second to process or prefers deep focus, good luck. For high-masking autistic people, this means constantly scanning for hidden cues, timing your responses, and rehearsing in your head while still trying to follow what's happening. You're basically running a full backstage production while also acting on stage. It's exhausting. Even one-on-one conversations can feel challenging sometimes, especially when you're near burnout or feeling overwhelmed from life. There's no one else to balance things out, no breaks to regroup or just to listen, and all the focus is just on you. This often leads to lots of masking, overthinking, or just tapping out entirely, even if on the outside you look totally calm. Depending on how many chats you have to do all day, it's little wonder that a lot of non-autistic people will use weekends to socialize. But for me and a lot of autistic people, we just want a break from peopling. Not because we're introverted, but because they're a lot of work for our brains, a lot of noise, and a lot of open-ended plans. Let's just see what happens.
We'll just play it by ear.
Sure, these might seem light and casual and freeing to some, and even for me, there are days and people who this works with. But most of the time, this is setting an autistic brain up for stress and decision fatigue. Want to drive an autistic brain crazy? Just tell them to roll with whatever happens. 95% of the time, it works 100% of the time. There's no clear plan of what's going on, yet there is a plan to do something. It'll get many autistic brains spinning. Where are we going? How long will it last? What if I want to leave early? How many other things will get stacked with this one? That internal spiral can be more exhausting than the event itself. Even worse, getting dragged from one spontaneous thing to another. But here's the real kicker. To a lot of autistic people, this is different than having unstructured free time. And that distinction can be hard for non-autistic people to understand. Open-ended plans means there's supposed to actually be a plan. You're scheduled to do something, which could already be stressful. But then it's disguised with a "we're super casual" vibe that actually means constant surprises, places you might not be mentally ready for, and a whole lot of feeling really, really shy. Being interrupted repeatedly. Ever had a conversation with someone who interrupts constantly? That's probably the #1 ticket to being stuck or shutting down as an autistic person, which really, really sucks. Being interrupted over and over feels like trying to write a sentence while someone keeps hitting the backspace key. You lose your place, your momentum, and eventually your energy. For many high-masking autistic people, this can be especially exhausting because we often rehearse what we're going to say in our heads before we speak. When someone cuts in, it's like your whole script gets thrown in the shredder. Then you're expected to either restart from memory or pretend you never had a point at all. Or you have to wait and wait and wait. And will that perfect moment to share your final thoughts ever come? Not always, which is horrible for our artistic inertia, which wants to see things through to completion. And while all of this is happening, we're trying to manage facial expressions, tone, and body language to look totally fine on the outside. But inside? Chaos. It's frustrating, draining, and sometimes makes you just want to give up on talking altogether. And what's even harder, many of us also struggle with not interrupting others, especially if we're autistic and also have ADHD like me. But that doesn't mean it doesn't send little jolts of electric shocks buzzing through us that'll put us into full meltdown territory when we get interrupted repeatedly ourselves. If these sound familiar, it's not because you're weird or socially anxious. It's because you're autistic in a world built for different brains. You're doing more invisible work than most people realize. And there's sneakier energy drains than they look. And if you haven't seen our other videos on normal things that are actually exhausting, watch that one next.
Oh my gosh, that was not right. Yeah.